question that we are never really taught how to answer, because all of the questions are like, who do you want to be? What do you want to be? Where do you want to end up? Where do you want to live? But like, who do you want to be? And in this current moment, as I'm asking you this question, I want you to think, who are you? What does it mean to be you? What does it mean to be you? Throughout this video, I want to answer the question for myself. What does it mean to be Danae Frey? "13 videos, 13 weeks, 13 questions, 13 challenges, 13 minutes, 13 seconds. Week 1. Who are you? Not what do you do, not where do you want to live, not how much money do you want to make, but who are you? Throughout this video, I am going to take you on the journey of answering that question for myself, but I actually want you to take some time right now to think and answer that question for yourself. And I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Maybe you hear the question, who are you? And you say, I'm a teacher, I'm a student, I'm this, I'm that. I don't want you to think about what you do or where you come from, but who you are. Think about it as I think about it. My name is Danae Frey, and I am a learner. I want to say that I'm a student, but I guess when most people think about a student, they think about school. And I did well in school, but I had a lot of struggles in school, mainly because I had a learning disability that got diagnosed second year university. So when I say I'm a learner, I am someone who enjoys gaining new knowledge, kind of filtering through the things that I find interesting and not interesting, kind of discarding the rest. Sometimes it kind of stays in there, but it's just not very accessible. But I am someone who enjoys sitting in a classroom. I enjoy sitting in a class, things like master class, watching various YouTube videos, and I love sitting in conversations and being able to learn about someone. Because learning doesn't have to be this abstract thing about like calculus, or it doesn't have to be like astrophysics, or it doesn't have to be about learning how to construct some sentence. I don't know. But learning can just be sitting down face to face with someone and taking in the fullness of who they are. Learning the things that make them laugh, learning the things that bring them joy, learning about the things that stress them out and confuse them, learning about the things that are normal to you but might be confusing to them. For example, something that does not make sense to me are siblings. I'm an only child, and the concept of like somebody else looking like you and like your parents, and you have to like share things with them. I know I sound spoiled. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm spoiled emotionally and in terms of presence and stuff like that, but presents, not presents. Anyways, I am somebody who just doesn't understand that whole concept. Like, there are certain people that I've accepted as my siblings, but blood siblings? Don't get it. So, I am a learner. Who am I? I am a learner. I am an observer. Oh, I used to go to the mall all of the time. Well, not all the time. I used to go to the mall with my mom, and she's not a window shopper. She's not a shopper. She'll come to the mall with me and sit in one spot, and then as I move to another store, she'll just move in those little middle seat things. But I always loved watching her watch people, and I didn't realize how much I did it myself. I enjoy watching how people interact with other people. I enjoy watching how people like take in the world. Like, are they overwhelmed? Are they confused? Are they enjoying their time? Are they nervous? Like, I enjoy just watching people do and be. I also enjoy watching people watch people, because sometimes I'm looking at people and I'm thinking, are you seeing what I'm seeing? But I may not even know the other person, but I may notice that we're looking in the same direction. And in my head, I'm like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are we at the same? Yeah, okay. So I am an observer. I enjoy observing people especially. And it connects to me being a learner, because the more you watch someone, the more you can learn about them. And oftentimes, the more you learn about someone, the more you want to watch them, if that makes sense. So I am an observer. I'm also a nerd. And I know this may seem like it's connected to being a learner, but I think it's different. When there's something that I'm super into, I can talk about it for hours. Now, most of the time I don't get the chance to, because I guess some of the things that I'm into, not everyone around me is into. But even in the classroom, also another thing, this is more so what I do, but I have the pleasure of teaching high school math. So even in the classroom, I nerd out. One of my favorite topics is rational expressions. Rational, just like having a polynomial, a binomial on the top or bottom of a fraction, and having to kind of figure out how does this all work together, especially rational equations. So this is pretty much what you have to do, okay? So I might just have to insert a video of me literally working through a problem, because I just love it so much. So this is what you have to do. You take this equation and you find the lowest common denominator. So an equation being this fraction plus or minus this fraction equals to this fraction. And you now have to figure out, what is x? And I know that's a question that most of us just hate answering. What is x? There's a reason it's called x, and but anyways, how do I figure out what x is? X is, what's going on? Okay. How do I figure out what x is? X is only determined by figuring out, how can I get all of these denominators and these fractions not be fractions anymore? So how do you do that? You take the lowest common denominator of all of the fractions, multiply every fraction by the lowest common denominator. So you start with this small thing, and then you make a huge mess and you expand it. But when you expand it and you multiply by this lowest common denominator, then you get to cancel things out. So these fractions that once existed no longer exist. Greatness. Now it's longer, but it's gotten a little bit smaller. And now most of the time you're doing distributive property. Some of us know it as FOIL. And you've got now just algebra. And I love it when it results in a quadratic equation. And I like when it factors well, but also when it doesn't factor well, you've got the quadratic equation. Insert x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So You insert that into there, and then you get these two solutions. Most of the time when you're dealing with quadratics, you get two solutions, but not all the time. So now I have to take these two solutions and make sure that they align with the restrictions from the beginning of my equation. Just amazing. And my favorite part about it that my students normally end up hating is this equation that started off here that got really, really long, ends up answering, like the answer ends up becoming like 2, x equals 2. Like, just great. So yes, a little bit of a nerd. Love the Bible too. Like, that is my jam. I am not as knowledgeable as I would want to be. However, I am in this journey of learning a lot more about the Bible, about the scriptures. How does everything connect? Why do people have tensions with the Bible? Why do some people find so much comfort in certain scriptures and other people are like, this is horrible, this is ridiculous, I don't understand. Some people are like, this is definitely true. Other people are like, this is fake. So I also just love nerding out about the Bible and also sharing all of the different connections and seeing all the things. So I am also a little bit of a nerd about certain things. Yeah. Ultimately, this question about who am I is one that we often try to answer based on what do we do, where do we want to be, who do we want to end up with, where do we want to live, whatever. But I want you to think, what are those like core things that are just naturally woven into the fabric of who you are and how you live your life and how you navigate the world and all these things. So I hope that you can find some time to just sit in that question. Imagine if I sat down right now. I think I'm going to sit down. Yes. Okay. Sit in that question. Who am I? Who are you? Deuces.